This video contains audio content only. There are no visual elements or images accompanying the audio. If you're expecting to see video footage, please note that this is an intentional audio-only presentation. We recommend listening to this content rather than watching the screen. Thank you for your understanding and enjoy the audio. Welcome. Join us as we explore the captivating legend of Difunta Correa, a folk saint revered across Argentina. In simple terms, we'll uncover the origins of this powerful belief, exploring themes of faith, motherhood, miracle, and the harsh realities of 19th-century Argentina. Discover how a tragic tale of loss and survival in the unforgiving desert transformed into a vibrant expression of hope and devotion, shaping a unique cultural phenomenon that continues to resonate today. Prepare to be amazed by the story of Difunta Correa, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Chapter 1. The Desert Mother. Whispers of a Legend's Birth. The whispers begin in the heart of Argentina, a land scarred by conflict and yearning for peace. It is the mid-19th century, a period of brutal civil wars that tore families apart and pitted brother against brother. Imagine a land of stark contrasts, where the vibrant green of fertile valleys gives way abruptly to the ochre and brown of the unforgiving San Juan Desert. This is the backdrop against which the legend of Difunta Correa, the deceased Correa, unfolds, a story passed down through generations, each retelling adding a new layer of meaning, a new shade of interpretation. The desert wind carries many names: Diolinda, the most common, but also Delinda Antonia, Maria Antonia, Mercedes, even Belinda. Each name conjures a slightly different image, a unique face to the woman at the heart of the legend. Was she Diolinda, the devoted wife, or Mercedes, the determined mother? Was she Belinda, the courageous traveler, or Delinda Antonia, the woman wronged? The whispers don't settle on a single truth, but rather embrace the multiplicity of her identity, reflecting the rich oral tradition that has kept her story alive. One story places her in the small village of Angaco in San Juan province, her life intertwined with the turbulent politics of the era. Her husband, Clemente Bustos, a peaceful farmer, is forcibly conscripted into the Montoneras, the irregular armies that roamed the countryside, fighting for regional autonomy and control. These Montoneras, often poorly equipped but fiercely loyal to their caudillos, or regional leaders, were a defining feature of Argentina's tumultuous history. Imagine the fear that gripped Diolinda's heart as she watched her husband, perhaps already weakened by illness, being dragged away to join the ranks of these often lawless bands, their destination the distant province of La Rioja. Another version of the story tells of a husband named Baudilio Bustos, ravaged by pneumonia, left to die by the very Montoneras he was forced to join. In this telling, it is not capture but abandonment that fuels Diolinda's desperate journey. Picture her, a young mother with a babe in arms, facing the daunting prospect of crossing the arid expanse of the San Juan Desert, driven by the faint hope of reaching her dying husband. Yet another thread in the legend's tapestry speaks not of illness or capture, but of a different kind of threat. In this version, Diolinda is relentlessly pursued by the unwanted advances of the local police chief, a man who abuses his power and preys on the vulnerable. The desert becomes not only a physical barrier but also a refuge, a desperate escape from the clutches of a predator. Driven by fear and the instinct to protect her child, she flees into the wilderness, choosing the unknown dangers of the desert over the certain threat of the comisario. Some whispers place Diolinda not in San Juan but in La Rioja, a province further north, or even in the remote Costa de Bermejo. Perhaps she was already fleeing a devastating drought that had withered the land and left her family starving. Perhaps it was not her husband but her son, perhaps her eldest, who had been taken, and she followed, a lioness tracking her cub. In some tellings, she sets out not to find someone but to escape, seeking a new life, a safe haven away from the violence and uncertainty of her homeland. She might have even had 2 children with her, their small hands clinging to hers as she navigated the treacherous terrain. The desert itself is a character in this story, a vast and unforgiving expanse of sand and rock, where the sun beats down mercilessly and water is a precious commodity. Imagine Diolinda's journey. The scorching heat, the relentless wind whipping sand into her face, the vast emptiness stretching before her. Her supplies, meager from the start, dwindle with each passing day. A few loaves of hard bread, some dried meat or charqui, perhaps, and 2 chiffles, or water gourds, their contents quickly disappearing under the relentless sun. What route did she take? Did she follow the faint tracks left by the montaneras, or did she wander aimlessly, lost in the labyrinthine landscape? Did she find shade beneath the twisted branches of an algarobo tree, its meager leaves offering little respite from the sun's glare? The whispers paint a vivid picture of her struggle. The cracked earth beneath her worn sandals, the burning thirst in her throat, the growing weakness in her limbs. But they also speak of her unwavering determination, her fierce maternal love that keeps her going, one step at a time, her infant son cradled in her arms, his small body a constant reminder of her purpose. In some versions, her parents, Don Pedro Correa and Damiana, or perhaps José Amador Correa and Rosario del Tránsito Ramajo, appear in her thoughts, their faces etched in her memory. The whispers don't tell us if she prayed or to whom, but they speak of a deep inner strength, a faith that transcends the harsh realities of her situation. The figure of Facundo Quiroga, the tiger of the plains, looms large in some versions of the story. A charismatic and ruthless caudillo, Quiroga commanded a powerful montanera and played a key role in the Argentine civil wars. His name is synonymous with both bravery and brutality, a reflection of the complex and often violent nature of the times. Was Diolinda's husband a willing follower of Quiroga, or was he a victim of forced conscription, swept up in the tide of war? The whispers don't offer a definitive answer, allowing for both possibilities, acknowledging the nuanced realities of a nation embroiled in conflict. These whispers, fragments of a story passed down through generations, coalesce into a powerful legend, a testament to a mother's unwavering love and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It is from these diverse threads, woven together by the desert wind, that the legend of Difunta Correa begins to take shape, a legend that would transcend its humble origins and become a symbol of hope and faith for millions. Chapter 2. Water from a Stone. The Miracle that Birthed a Faith. The San Juan Desert stretched before her, a vast and unforgiving expanse of sand and rock, shimmering under the relentless sun. The air, thick and dry, clung to Diolinda's parched throat as she stumbled forward, her infant son cradled close. Days blurred into a relentless cycle of thirst, hunger, and exhaustion. The desert, indifferent to her plight, offered no solace, no respite. Finally, her strength failed her. Under the skeletal shade of an algarobo tree, its gnarled branches reaching towards the pitiless sky, Diolinda collapsed, her body surrendering to the desert's embrace. Days later, a group of gauchos, weathered men whose lives were etched into their sun-beaten faces, drove their cattle across this desolate landscape. The silence of the desert, usually broken only by the wind's mournful song, was pierced by a faint, persistent cry. Following the sound, they crested a small rise and there, beneath the algarobo tree, lay Diolinda's lifeless form. But it was not the sight of the deceased woman that made their hearts leap into their throats. It was the sight of her infant son, alive, nestled against her breast, miraculously suckling, drawing sustenance from a source that should have been long extinguished by death. A hush fell over the gauchos, their rough hands instinctively reaching for their crosses. They had witnessed something that defied explanation, a scene that blurred the lines between life and death, the natural and the supernatural. Some spoke in hushed tones of a divine intervention, a miracle wrought by the Virgin Mary herself. Others, more pragmatic, spoke of the resilience of life, the enduring power of a mother's love that somehow, inexplicably, continued to nourish her child even in death. They saw the baby feeding from her, miraculously, ever-full breast, a detail that would become a central motif in the legend, a symbol of Diolinda's enduring, otherworldly power. Reverently, the gauchos prepared Diolinda's body for burial. They chose a spot on the rise, a small, windswept hill overlooking the desolate landscape, a place now known as Vallecito. They dug a shallow grave in the hard, unforgiving earth, their hands calloused from years of toil. They wrapped her body in a simple shroud, a stark contrast to the vibrant red dress she is often depicted wearing in the countless shrines that would later dot the landscape. They laid her to rest, her face turned towards the heavens, her infant son still cradled in her arms, an image that would become an iconic representation of the Difunta Correa. With heavy hearts, the gauchos took the child with them, a living testament to the miracle they had witnessed, a symbol of hope born from tragedy. His fate remains shrouded in mystery, lost to the whispers of time, but his survival became the cornerstone of the Difunta Correa's burgeoning legend. Years later, the story of Difunta Correa, the woman who died in the desert but whose breast continued to nourish her child, had spread throughout the region, passed down through generations of gauchos and travelers. The desert, once a symbol of death and desolation, began to take on a new meaning, a place where the miraculous could occur. It was in this environment, ripe with faith and superstition, that another miracle, attributed to Difunta, cemented her status as a source of divine intervention. Flavio Zeballos, a Chilean cattle driver known for his skill and experience, was leading a herd of over 500 cattle across the treacherous Andes Mountains. A sudden and violent storm descended upon them, the sky turning a menacing black, the wind howling like a tormented spirit. Rain lashed down, turning the dry earth into a treacherous mire. The cattle, panicked by the storm's fury, scattered in all directions, disappearing into the swirling mists and driving rain. Zeballos, distraught and facing financial ruin, searched tirelessly for his lost herd. Days turned into nights, his hope dwindling with each passing hour. He was not only losing his livelihood but also his reputation, his pride as a capable cattleman. Exhausted and despairing, he stumbled upon a small, unmarked grave on a desolate hilltop. It was the grave of Difunta Correa. He had heard whispers of the woman who died in the desert, whose child miraculously survived. Driven by desperation, Zeballos knelt before the grave, the wind whipping his poncho around him. He poured out his heart to the deceased woman, his voice choked with emotion. He promised that if she helped him recover his lost herd, he would build a proper shrine in her honor, a place where others could come and pay their respects. The next morning, as the storm clouds cleared and the sun cast its golden rays across the desert, Zeballos climbed the hilltop, his heart heavy with dread. He scanned the horizon, expecting to see only the vast emptiness of the desert. But then, his eyes widened in disbelief. There, grazing peacefully near Difunta's grave, was his entire herd, every single animal accounted for, as if the storm had never happened. Overwhelmed with gratitude and awe, Zeballos set about fulfilling his promise. He gathered stones from the surrounding hills, their rough surfaces warmed by the desert sun. He mixed mud and straw, his hands working tirelessly, driven by a newfound faith. He built a small, simple chapel, an adobe structure that stood as a testament to his gratitude and a beacon of hope in the desolate landscape. He did not work alone. Other travelers, hearing of the miracle, came to help, their hands adding stones and mud to the growing structure, their hearts filled with a shared belief in the power of the Difunta Correa. The story of Zeballos's miracle spread like wildfire, carried on the wind across the desert, whispered from gaucho to gaucho, from traveler to traveler. It intertwined with the original miracle of Difunta's ever-flowing breast, creating a powerful narrative of hope and divine intervention. The desert, once a symbol of death and despair, became a place of pilgrimage, a place where miracles could happen. The Difunta Correa's power, as perceived by her growing number of devotees, was multifaceted. She was a protector of travelers, a guardian of the vulnerable, a source of solace for those who suffered loss and hardship. She embodied the fierce love and determination of a mother, willing to sacrifice everything for her child. She offered hope in a precarious world, a sense of control in an environment where life was often at the mercy of the elements. Her story resonated deeply with the gauchos, the cattle drivers, the travelers, the poor and marginalized, those whose lives were a constant struggle for survival. They saw in her a reflection of their own struggles, their own hopes, their own fears. The offerings left at her shrine, initially simple tokens of gratitude like water bottles to quench her eternal thirst, evolved into a vast collection of objects, each representing a specific need, a specific prayer, a specific miracle granted. Wedding dresses from women who found love, car registrations from those who sought safe travels, model houses from those who dreamed of a home. The desert hilltop, once barren and desolate, became a vibrant tapestry of faith, a testament to the enduring power of belief in a world often devoid of hope. And at the heart of it all, the image of Difunta Correa, lying peacefully beneath the algarrobo tree, her infant son nestled against her breast, a miracle that birthed a faith. Chapter 3. The Shrine in the Sand, From Humble Beginnings to Global Icon. The desert wind whispers tales of Difunta Correa, a name etched in the heart of Argentina's folk religion. Her story, a tapestry woven with threads of love, loss, and miraculous survival, begins in the harsh, unforgiving landscape of the San Juan Desert. In the aftermath of her tragic death, a simple wooden cross, fashioned by the rough hands of gauchos, marked her resting place, a solitary sentinel against the vast, empty sky. This humble marker, planted in the arid earth, became a focal point, a silent testament to a mother's unwavering devotion. Passers-by, their faces etched with the hardships of desert life, paused to offer a silent prayer, a gesture of respect for the woman who perished in the pursuit of love and family. They left small tokens, perhaps a wildflower plucked from the sparse vegetation, a smooth stone placed atop the mound, or a precious few drops of water poured onto the dry earth, a symbolic offering to quench her eternal thirst. As word of Difunta's story spread, the solitary cross became a gathering place. The whispers of her miracle, the infant son who survived by suckling at his deceased mother's breast, transformed the gravesite into something more than just a place of mourning. It became a place of hope, a place where the boundaries between life and death seemed to blur, a place where miracles might be possible. The offerings grew more elaborate, more purposeful. Small shrines, fashioned from scavenged wood and metal, began to appear around the cross. Water bottles, symbols of the thirst that claimed Difunta's life, became the most common offering, left in the belief that they would somehow alleviate her suffering in the afterlife. Then came Flavio Zeballos, a Chilean cattle driver whose story would forever be intertwined with that of Difunta Correa. His encounter with Difunta's grave, his desperate plea for the return of his scattered herd, and the miraculous recovery of his cattle transformed the site into a place of pilgrimage. Zeballos, true to his word, constructed the first oratory, a simple adobe structure, a testament to his gratitude and a beacon of hope in the desolate landscape. This small chapel, built with his own hands and the help of other believers, marked the beginning of the shrine's transformation. It was the first physical manifestation of the growing devotion to Difunta Correa, a tangible symbol of the power she held in the hearts and minds of the people. Over time, the shrine continued to evolve, driven by the unwavering faith of its devotees. 17 chapels, each unique in its design and purpose, sprung up around the original oratory, forming a sprawling complex that testified to the ever-expanding reach of Difunta Correa's influence. Each chapel, donated by a grateful follower, bears the name of its benefactor on a plaque affixed to the door, a permanent record of their faith and gratitude. One chapel, dedicated to the hope of marriage, overflows with wedding dresses, pristine white against the rough-hewn walls, each a silent prayer for love and companionship, a tangible offering of hope for a future blessed by Difunta's intervention. Another chapel, filled with miniature houses meticulously crafted from wood, metal, and clay, represents the dreams of homeownership, the desire for a safe and secure place to raise a family. These scale models, each a unique expression of hope and longing, stand as testaments to the belief in Difunta Correa's power to intercede in the most mundane, yet crucial, aspects of life. Other chapels house a vast and eclectic collection of ex-votos, car registrations, license plates, photographs, hand-painted signs, small engraved plaques, and red ribbons fluttering in the breeze. Each item tells a story of a prayer answered, a life saved, a journey safely completed. There are trophies and medals, offerings from athletes seeking victory, uniforms and caps from soldiers and police officers who survived perilous situations, medical instruments and plaster casts, symbols of healing and recovery. The walls are covered with personal items, each a tangible expression of gratitude, a physical manifestation of the deep personal connection people feel with Difunta Correa. The air around the shrine is thick with the scent of burning candles, their flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls, illuminating the faces of the faithful as they offer their prayers and petitions. The smell of asado, the traditional Argentine barbecue, mingles with the scent of incense, creating a unique sensory experience that blends the sacred and the secular. The sounds of the shrine are as diverse as its offerings. The hushed whispers of prayers, the murmur of conversations, the occasional burst of laughter, and the rhythmic chanting of pilgrims as they make their way up the hilltop, their footsteps echoing in the desert silence. At the summit of the hill, overlooking the sprawling complex, stands the life-size statue of Difunta Correa, her iconic image instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with Argentine folk religion. She lies recumbent, her face turned towards the heavens, her infant son cradled at her breast, forever frozen in a pose of eternal maternal love and sacrifice. This image, replicated in countless roadside shrines throughout Argentina and beyond, has become a symbol of hope and protection for travelers, a reminder of the unwavering bond between mother and child. These roadside shrines, often no more than a simple crate or a makeshift altar, mark the landscape, a constant reminder of Difunta Correa's presence. They vary in size and complexity, from simple collections of water bottles clustered around a small statue to elaborate structures adorned with flowers, candles, and other offerings. What unites them all is the image of Diolinda, the deceased mother, and the unwavering belief in her power to protect and provide. Truck drivers, gauchos, farmers, and travelers of all kinds stop at these shrines to offer their prayers and petitions, leaving behind water bottles to quench her eternal thirst, spare tires and car parts to ensure safe travels, and license plates as symbols of their journeys. These offerings, both humble and practical, represent the deep-seated belief that Difunta Correa watches over those who travel through the desert, offering them her protection and guidance. The stories of Difunta Correa's intervention are as numerous and varied as the offerings left at her shrines. A truck driver who narrowly avoided a fatal accident, a gaucho who found his way back to his ranch after being lost in a storm, a woman who finally conceived after years of infertility, a student who passed a crucial exam. These anecdotes, passed down through generations, fuel the belief in her miraculous powers, strengthening the bond between the faithful and the folk saint. The shrine at Vallecito, the site of Diolinda's death and burial, has grown into a small town in its own right, a testament to the enduring power of her legend. Restaurants, hotels, and souvenir shops cater to the needs of the pilgrims, creating a bustling atmosphere that blends the sacred and the commercial. The shrine's location in the desert, the very landscape that claimed Diolinda's life, adds to its unique atmosphere. Water, the source of both life and death in this arid environment, is a recurring motif, a constant reminder of Diolinda's sacrifice and the miraculous survival of her son. The shrine at Vallecito is more than just a religious site. It is a cultural phenomenon, a testament to the enduring power of faith, hope, and the unwavering belief in a mother's love. The annual pilgrimages to Vallecito, especially during Easter, All Souls' Day, and events for truck drivers and gauchos, draw hundreds of thousands of visitors, transforming the desert landscape into a vibrant tapestry of faith and devotion. The crowds, estimated to reach over 1 million annually, testify to the widespread popularity of Difunta Correa, a folk saint whose story continues to resonate with people from all walks of life. They come seeking miracles, offering thanks, and paying their respects to the woman who embodies the enduring strength of the human spirit, the unwavering power of a mother's love, and the enduring hope for a better life. Chapter 4. Beyond the Church Walls, a Saint Unsanctioned. The whispers of Diolinda Correa's name echo across the vast expanse of Argentina, carried on the desert wind, murmured in roadside shrines, and celebrated in the vibrant heart of Vallecito. She is Difunta Correa, the deceased Correa, a folk saint whose veneration transcends the confines of the official Catholic Church, resonating deeply with the working class and marginalized communities of Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. Her story, a poignant blend of tragedy and miracle, speaks to the hardships of 19th-century Argentina, a nation forged in the crucible of civil wars, forced conscription, and the relentless struggle for survival in a harsh and unforgiving landscape. Diolinda's unofficial sainthood is a testament to the power of faith outside formal religious structures. While the Catholic Church has never officially recognized her as a saint, her followers, many of whom identify as Catholic, revere her with a devotion that often resembles the worship of a deity. This lack of official sanction, rather than diminishing her appeal, has arguably enhanced it. For those who feel distanced from the formal rituals and doctrines of the Church, Diolinda offers a more accessible, relatable figure, a saint of the people, a protector who understands their struggles and intercedes on their behalf. Her story, passed down through generations of oral tradition, is a reflection of the turbulent times in which she lived. The mid-19th century was a period of intense conflict in Argentina, marked by the brutal civil wars between Unitarians and Federalists. Forced conscription was a common practice, tearing men away from their families and forcing them to fight in battles they may not have believed in. For women like Diolinda, this meant not only the loss of their loved ones but also increased vulnerability to exploitation and abuse. The desert, a constant presence in Diolinda's story, represents the harsh realities of life for many Argentinians, a daily struggle against poverty, hunger, and thirst. These historical and cultural contexts are crucial to understanding Diolinda's enduring appeal. She is not just a symbol of maternal love and sacrifice, but also a representation of the struggles faced by ordinary people, particularly women, in a nation grappling with political instability and economic hardship. The belief in Diolinda's direct intervention in people's lives is a cornerstone of her veneration. Her devotees attribute a wide range of miracles to her intercession, from finding lost objects and animals to healing illnesses and securing safe travels. One story tells of a woman who prayed to Difunta Correa for a child after years of infertility. She left a small doll at the shrine, a symbol of her longing for motherhood. Months later, she returned, her arms cradling a newborn baby, her face radiant with joy and gratitude. Another story recounts a truck driver who, after narrowly avoiding a fatal accident, attributed his survival to Difunta Correa's protection. He left a spare tire at her roadside shrine, a testament to his belief in her power to safeguard travelers. These personal stories, passed down through generations, fuel the devotion to Difunta Correa. They are not just abstract tales of miracles but tangible evidence of her presence and power in the lives of her followers. This belief in her direct intervention distinguishes her veneration from the more formalized worship of Catholic saints, where miracles are often seen as occurring through the saint's intercession with God. In the case of Difunta Correa, the belief is often that she herself acts directly, providing immediate and tangible assistance to those who seek her help. The offerings left at Difunta Correa's shrines are a tangible expression of this reciprocal relationship between devotee and deity. The offerings are not merely symbolic gestures, they are part of a reciprocal exchange. Devotees offer these gifts in exchange for Difunta Correa's protection, her intercession, her miraculous intervention in their lives. The act of giving reinforces the belief in her power, creating a tangible link between the earthly and the divine. The main shrine at Vallecito, located near the spot where Diolinda's body was found, has grown into a complex, a testament to the enduring power of her legend. The shrine has become a place of pilgrimage, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors each year, particularly during Easter and All Souls' Day. The Catholic Church's response to Difunta Correa's widespread veneration has been complex and often ambivalent. While acknowledging the deep faith of her followers, the Church has stopped short of officially recognizing her as a saint. Attempts to incorporate or redirect this popular devotion, such as building churches dedicated to Our Lady of Mount Carmel near her shrine, have had limited success. Difunta Correa remains the central figure of devotion at Vallecito, her image and story far eclipsing the officially sanctioned figures of the Catholic Church in the hearts and minds of her followers. This tension between official doctrine and folk belief highlights the enduring power of popular religion, the human need for accessible and relatable figures of hope and protection, even outside the confines of established religious institutions. The story of Claudio Tapia, president of the Argentinian Football Association, encapsulates the profound impact of Difunta Correa on Argentine culture. In a highly publicized act of faith, Tapia brought a replica of the World Cup trophy to the shrine in Vallecito, fulfilling a promise made before the tournament. This gesture, widely reported in the media, brought the story of Difunta Correa to a global audience, further solidifying her status as a national icon. It also highlighted the blurring of lines between folk religion and national identity, demonstrating how deeply ingrained the belief in Difunta Correa is in the Argentine psyche. The story of Difunta Correa is more than just a legend, it is a living testament to the enduring power of faith, hope, and the human capacity for resilience in the face of adversity. Her widespread veneration and the tangible expressions of devotion at her shrines reveal a deep-seated need for connection with the divine, a need that transcends official religious doctrines and resonates with the lived experiences of ordinary people. From the simple offering of a water bottle to the grand gesture of a World Cup trophy, the story of Difunta Correa continues to unfold, A story written not in sacred texts but in the hearts and minds of her millions of followers. Difunta Correa's legend, born from Argentina's turbulent 19th-century landscape, reveals the power of faith and resilience. Her unofficial sainthood, fueled by miracles attributed to her intercession, resonates deeply with those marginalized by traditional religion. The offerings left at her shrines, from water bottles to World Cup trophies, reflect a reciprocal relationship between devotee and deity, a tangible exchange of hope for divine intervention. This phenomenon transcends individual belief, impacting cultural identity and challenging the boundaries of official religious structures. Where do you see the future of folk saints like Difunta Correa? Share your thoughts below. Like and subscribe for more explorations of faith and culture. Never stop questioning, never stop learning.